So now we're going to look at the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is another method of solving quadratic equations. So it's another way of solving quadratic equations. So we have this standard equation that we write: ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, right? So ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0 is the equation that we use to show the quadratic formula. So a will be a coefficient of x. It will be a real number, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever number that is. B is also coefficient of x. This was coefficient of x squared. This is the coefficient of x, and this is just c, a constant, right? So for example, if I had 2x squared plus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0, c will be minus 4, b will be a 3, a will be a 2, right? So that's what all that represents. So let me remove that so that it makes sense. So our quadratic formula is this statement. We'll simply say x is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. If you want to find your answer for x, you simply plug in these values. Get the value of b, plug it in there, right? In there. Value of a, plug it there and there. Value of c, plug it there and there. Simplify, you should get your answer. So let's look at examples to see how this works. So our first example is x squared plus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. So the first thing to do is to identify your a, your b, and your c. My a is the coefficient of x squared. Now there appears to be no coefficient of x squared, but wherever there appears to be no coefficient of x squared, the coefficient is actually 1. So x squared and 1x squared are the same thing. 1x squared is just the same as x squared. So when you have x squared, know your coefficient is 1. B, our coefficient is 5, but be careful. Always take note of the sign. This time it's a positive 5, so we take the 5 as a positive. Our c is a positive 6. Make sure you take note of the sign. So our quadratic formula tells us that the value of x will be equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So x is equal to minus 5 plus or minus square root of 5 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 6, all over 2 times a, which is 1. Okay? So we have to simplify this. So let me take it to the next page. Maybe I can squeeze it here a bit. So minus 5 plus or minus 5 squared is 25. 4 times 1 times 6, that's 24. So minus 24 over 2 times 1, that's 2. So let's take it to the next page there. So minus 5 plus or minus 25 minus 24. So x is equal to minus 5 plus or minus square root of 25 minus 24 all over 2. 25 minus 24 is 1. So x is equal to minus 5 plus or minus square root of 1 over 2. So when I'm here, I can split this into 2, right? I can take one expression with a positive and one expression with a negative. So I'll say x is equal to minus 5 plus square root of 1, right? All over 2. Or I'll say x is equal to minus 5 minus square root of 1 all over 2. So square root of 1 is a 1. So minus 5 plus 1 over 2. So minus 5 plus 1, that's minus 4, which is equal to minus 4 over 2. So x is equal to minus 2. That's my first answer. Or I can proceed from there. X is equal to minus 5. Square root of 1 is 1 minus 1 over 2. So x is equal to minus 6 over 2. So x is equal to minus 3. So those are my two solutions there. X is equal to minus 2 or x is equal to minus 3. Let's try another example. Right. Here we have 3x squared minus 4x plus 1, we need to have a 1 there, is equal to 0 there. So our first task is to identify our a, our b, and our c. Our a is 3, positive 3. Our b in this case is a negative 4, and our c is a positive 1. Now we know that x is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. You need to memorize this formula and know it. So x will be equal to minus, b is minus 4, so minus a minus 4 plus or minus square root of b squared, which is minus 4 squared, minus 4 times a, 3 times c, 1, all over 2 times a, which is 2 times 3. So x will be equal to minus of a minus gives you a positive 4 plus or minus square root of minus 4 squared. Minus times a minus gives you a positive, so it gives you a positive 16. 4 times 3, I'm going to give you 12 times 1, 12. So 16 minus 12 there, all over 2 times 3, that's 6. So I'm going to take that to the other page. X is equal to 4 plus or minus square root of 16 minus 12 all over 6. So 16 minus 12, that's 4. So x is equal to 4 plus or minus square root of 4 all over 6. So I can split this now into one expression with a positive and another one with a negative. So x will be equal to 4 plus square root of 4 over 6. Or x will be equal to 4 minus square root of 4 over 6. So square root of 4 is a 2, so x is equal to 4 plus 2 over 6. X will be equal to 6 over 6, which ultimately is equal to a 1. So x is equal to 1, right? Or on the other side, x will be equal to 4 minus square root of 4, that's 2 over 6, which means x is equal to 2 over 6, which means x is equal to 1/3. So x could be equal to 1, or x is equal to 1/3. So that's simply how you use the quadratic formula. Now, in many questions that come in paper 2s, the answer you will get from the square root will rather be a long and ugly one, which you require your calculator to use. Don't be surprised if you get those long, ugly answers. They are the ones we expect, especially in paper 2.